And so no surprise, after Levy let in 4 in a loss last game, they're going to go with Schroeder.
Love the way she seals low ice. Really tough to beat down there. Excellent use of her stick to cut passes off going across the crease.
Maddie Rooney getting the start for Minnesota, a Minnesota native herself, and I'll let you take the rest.
She reminds me a little bit of Mike Richter in the fact she's got a little small in stature, but really plays big, can cover a lot of net, excellent athletically.
Has played for Team USA, 2-time Olympian, 2-time world champion gold medalist, and New York wins the opening faceoff. That top line on the ice for both sides here today. In this, the third minute, a quick chance right off the hop. Abby Boreen. Schroeder back in her net now as Rooney comes behind the net to play the puck. Schofield battling along the boards.
In this game, Jamie, you got 2 goalies who can really move the puck well, which I think affects both teams' ability and desire to put pucks behind the defense to create offense off the forecheck.
It's Boreen carrying in, trying to center and just missed Taylor Heisey. Minnesota unable to hold the zone, and Bookbinder trying to send it right back in for the visiting team. Here's Krzyzova, and her shot deflects up and off the glass. New York will collect as Jill Saulnier tried to come away with it, had it taken away by Krzyzova. The pace of this game already living up to the hype. A quick chance in front, and it just deflected wide off the side of the net. Minnesota buzzing early. Kelly Panic plays it back for Bookbinder, a shot, it goes wide. Peyton Levis able to chip it out into the neutral zone. She just told us they were looking for a fast start. Not quite what they were hoping for here today, as Minnesota has had the better of the chances so far.
Minnesota really good, getting north fast, getting out of their own end with a good first pass. And if you're in New York, you're thinking about with the way they forecheck and keeping 2 up, trying to make sure that when they're coming across the defensive blue line, they're not really coming across with any kind of speed or momentum.
Here's Jaguar, tries to leave it off for Gerard, and Minnesota comes away with it. You heard the crowd getting involved, Dave, and we've got great attendance here today. Probably the biggest attendance we've had so far at a New York home game, and they are chanting their team on early.
As you know, I did a game in Grand Forks, North Dakota on Friday night, and the buzz of this league being felt in the state of Minnesota, and especially in eastern North Dakota, it is a hot topic of conversation. A lot of people rooting for its success and enjoying the highest skill level and competitiveness of the games.
Ella Shelton just laid a big hit on Britton Fleming, who was shaken up momentarily, heads to the bench. Physicality on display, the excitement in the air. Emma Greco now for Minnesota. Tries to fight off Madison Packer. They jam away at it. Liz Sheppers drawing back into the lineup for Minnesota, ends up coming away with a loose puck and hands it off for Flaherty. In comes Minnesota, Claire DeGeorge. Had it taken away by Jamie Bourbonnais. She passes up, and here comes New York on the rush. Kayla Vespa will flip it in, and we get a whistle.
Good crowd here in New York today. The weather here is beautiful, and tons of people coming up the Cross Island and Parkway to take a look at this game between New York and Minnesota.
New York strips the puck at center ice. Minnesota gets it back momentarily. Now Ella Shelton with a quick look behind her. Has it cut off by Coyne Schofield. She gets it over to Boreen, rings it around the boards, up for Steckline. Steckline looking for a lane, that shot blocked all the way back into the Minnesota zone. And it's Sophie Jakes, your reigning Patty Kazmaier winner, who just scored her first professional goal and ended up adding another on Tuesday.
The one thing that Howie Draper wants to see, the head coach of New York, is his team getting to their game quickly. And he said with the high-skilled players like we have, sometimes it's really hard to convince them that it's okay to give up the puck for a moment, put it in a good area behind the defense, and then go back and get it, because that's still possession. So he wants to see a little bit more urgency in moving pucks in, giving it up where necessary, and the desire to go get it back.
Bourbonnais shot it from the blue line, fought off by Rooney. Now a chance in front that deflects up and over the net. Peyton Levis gets it back. She tries to send one toward the net, and Lee Steckline takes it away. 4 minutes gone in this opening frame. Third of 5 meetings between these two teams this season, and each of the first two needed overtime. New York winning thanks to Emma Woods back in early January in Minnesota, and then Minnesota winning in New York last month as well. Now a shot from the point, Channels just went wide. Channel gets it back. Kelly Panic tries to settle it down, and they continue to fight for possession. It's Downey Landry coming away with it. Hands it across to Bourbonnais.
Channel doesn't get a lot of attention, a lot of headlines, but you need a player like her in your lineup if you're going to win. She's so good along the blue line, extends offensive zone time, reads well defensively. It's like she's got a microchip in her head. Doesn't surprise me. She is the daughter of a longtime NHL scout, Greg Channel, but you can see her thought process is higher level than a lot of players being around the game for so long.
Channel playing important minutes on the blue line for Minnesota. Cut off nicely by New York. Chloe Arard tried to center, nobody home, and Britton Fleming will skate away with it.
Her dad was actually scouting for Washington when both Ken, Clee, and I were in that organization in different capacities.
They're an offside, and take a closer look at Elizabeth Jaguar, who is still looking for her first point in the PWHL after being a standout over the past few years in different leagues. She played for the Boston Pride, won the Patty Caz back in 2020 at Clarkson, and had one of the best NCAA careers ever. But it's a challenge to then elevate that game at the next level, and this league now best on best, the first of its kind. Liz Sheffers skates it in for Minnesota, had her shot blocked by New York. And here comes New York in with speed. Alexander LaBelle had it stripped by Sheffers. There's that value Ken Clee talked about that Sheffers brings to the lineup. Ella Shelton will send it in down low for New York. Flaherty reverses for Heisey. Heisey spun around, fell to the ice, and now she reverses for Flaherty.
And this is real good forecheck pressure by New York. They're just sealing lanes. They're keeping Minnesota down below the goal line, not giving them a good out. And that's the type of game you want to see New York play. And it's the type of game that they've been playing better as of late.
Here's Coyne Schofield, a shot that just went wide and off the end boards. Heisey tried to center, a good stick. It was Baker there, keeping it out of harm's way. Neither team with a grade A chance to this point. Here's Abby Barine trying to change that. Paddled aside by Schroeder. Coyne Schofield trying to settle down a bouncing puck. Alex Carpenter will come away with it. It's a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Carpenter has Rock with her and Eldridge too. Carpenter skating in, takes a shot. It was blocked on the way. Settled down by Carpenter at the blue line. Kendall Coyne Schofield will clear the zone and go for a change.
You know, a second ago, you brought up the point about college players coming into this league and not having immediate success. No different at the NHL level.
There's Krasova trying to skate in, make something happen. Krasova now at the side of the net, feeds the point for Channel. Over to Bookbinder. Bookbinder's shot. Not there. Now a chance, and panics. Had to be saved by Schroeder. Kelly Panic spent a lot of time on that top line for Minnesota in the absence of Taylor Heisey. Now slotting in on the second line. Here's Bookbinder behind the net. Zumwinkle comes away with it.
Excellent.
Sends it ahead and cut off. Zone held by New York. Here's Saulnier. Saulnier leads to Zafudo. Zafudo shot. Still losing traffic, and somehow Rooney keeps it out. New York still buzzing. Saulnier behind the net. Feeds it out to the point. A great stick. And here comes Cunnin. Cunnin, the defensive play, looking for help. Takes a shot, saved by Schroeder. Puck still loose right in front, and Schroeder has to hang on. Early chances for both sides. We're still scoreless here in New York.
On left wing, number 11, Abby Barine! On right wing,
energy in that dressing room to get the New York team fired up.
Who needs an alarm clock, right?
Oh my goodness. So much for a matinee, sleepy start. They are awake and ready to go. Cut off, and a chance off her backhand. Puck is still loose in the crease. Somehow Schroeder is able to keep that puck out, and now we've got some rough stuff. What a chance for Claire Buderak and company.
Once again, the all-important concept of winning faceoffs in the offensive zone to start with possession. Minnesota recovers a loose puck here. A good plan to get it back, and then they get to the front of the net with Schroeder, who, as we talked about in the pregame show, seals low ice really, really well. There are a lot of times where you watch her defend the 5-hole with just slamming her pads together. She leaves her stick off to the side. Really trusts her ability to seal up without the stick, to use the stick for other things.
Tries, and Sheppers had a deflection, had to be kicked out. Early action for Minnesota. Jamie Bourbonnais fought off Barine there. Ella Shelton tried to feed it across. Kendall Coyne-Schofield cuts off the pass. Feeds the point. Bookbinder shot just wide.
Schofield's a player that hunts pucks and jumps routes really well. We always talk about on the ice, know the time, know the score, know who you're playing against. When she's on the ice, you gotta be a little bit more careful with her speed and reads. Here's
Taylor Heisey skating in through the neutral zone, takes a big hit by Zafudo.
Zafudo is definitely Colt Norris kind of player.
Well, Heisey just headed to the bench. She's just returning, fresh off an injury, suffered 3 weeks ago in the rivalry series. We'll keep an eye on her. Heisey, the #1 overall pick in this year's draft, so important to her team's success, and Zumwinkle takes a big hit along the boards. Krzyzova back for Zumwinkle. Down low, tried to center for Panic, caught in the skates of Carpenter, and she plays it ahead. Here's Jesse Eldridge. Eldridge tries to make a move, sticks with it, but had it taken away. Now Jakes goes for the reverse to Steckline.
That was important possession by Eldridge, gaining the zone on the bench side, staying with possession because they needed a line change, and Carpenter and Rock were able to get off and allow fresh troops to come on clean.
Both sides jamming away at the puck, trying to break it free, and Kelly Panic will receive it. She goes back for Steckline. Those two longtime teammates on Team USA. Cut off by Downey Landry. Downey Landry looking for a lane and had it taken away by Jakes. Sophie Jakes showing her value early. Puck comes deep into the New York zone as Ella Shelton will now fight through a check. Leaves for her D partner. Big collision there. Cunnin just took down Chloe Gerard, and they play on. Emma Greco now has it taken away by Jaguar. Back and forth they go. Cava plays it ahead for Minnesota. New York gets it right back. Here's Bourbonnais.
New York's bottom six, to me, is going to be a key component for them to make the playoffs. They are grind lines, they're possession lines, they can cause turnovers, create offense, defend. Like, they are going to be a big six as New York makes a push for the playoffs.
Zumwinkle trying to come in with speed, has Buderak with her. Now Zumwinkle from behind the goal line ended up trying to feed the point. It comes all the way back into Minnesota zone, and Maddie Rooney will play the puck. Just over 12 minutes gone in this opening frame. We're seeing the scores lower and lower, Dave, lately. It's becoming harder to score in this league, both on the power play and at 5-on-5.
You know, in talking to Ken Klee yesterday, one of the more interesting things that he said was the high skill level of the league, and it's one of the reasons why not a lot of teams are scoring. Howie Draper's talked about this also. He said, well, there are so many good players playing, whether it be power play, even strength, as you alluded to. A lot of these players sometimes are so used to having the puck and being able to do a lot of things. Now you're playing against teams with 4 lines of depth, 3 sets of D's depth, harder to score.
Here's Carpenter working in. The puck was loose momentarily and somehow deflects wide. New York trying to get it right back as Eldridge is taken down briefly. Minnesota skates away with it. Making the move is Britton Fleming, and she'll head to the bench. Oh no, thought differently of it, gets it back. And now she'll go for a change.
You know, it's also interesting, Jamie, he talked about a lot of the mentality of the players coming in early on. It was, they'd rather not get scored on than score. So sometimes it took a little while for a lot of these players to let some of their really natural, instinctive offensive juices to start to flow, to get into the game that they normally have played at other levels and find whether or not it works here at the pro level.
Here's Heisey back on the ice, looking good. Here's Coyne Schofield now. Sorted nicely by New York. Heisey gets it back behind the net. Coyne Schofield lost the puck for a moment, ends up getting picked up by Bourbonnais. And New York trying to set something up. Peyton Levis will send it in. Gloves down by Downey Landry. And just like that, Minnesota breaks out once more. They haven't allowed much in terms of setting anything up for New York. And remember, Minnesota has been at the top of the standings for most of the season, now finds itself in 3rd place after Toronto passed them just yesterday.
With the full complement back in the lineup and everybody back where they belong, I think this team starts to fly again real soon.
Still scoreless here on Long Island.
Coach Ken Klee joins us. You've got your full complement back, and you alluded to how important possession's going to be. Has that helped you in the possession game, having your centers back where they belong?
Yeah, it has helped a bit. I mean, I think we're still rushing plays a little bit. I think, you know, when you take a couple weeks out of the lineup and trying to get back into game shape, you know, that's where you don't see the play. You don't think you have any time, so you're trying to force plays. So we just got to relax a little bit. The plays are there. We just got to keep making them.
Good luck the rest of the way, Coach. Thanks.
Thank you.
Jesse Eldridge tried to center, couldn't connect with Rock, and Minnesota turns it up the other direction. Zumwinkle send it deep before going for a change. There's Budarak trying to get the loose puck, and instead it's Bourbonnais. She'll ring it around the boards for Hobson. Jesse Eldridge engaged in a puck battle. Wins it. And Abby Rock trying to hurry up. Pressuring Flaherty. 4 minutes to go here in the first period. A scoreless affair so far. Micah Zandihart will hold the zone briefly for New York before Minnesota comes away with the puck. Britton Fleming. New York fresh off a 2-game road trip. Unfortunately for them, they were unable to come away with a win in either game.
This league is the epitome of playing really well and still losing. Like when you watch a lot of teams that have lost.
Poliarada centering pass. Another chance, and Bookbinder kicks it ahead with her skate. Hurrying up to it is Claire DeGeorge. Back for Bookbinder. Bookbinder, top of the slot, fought off nicely by Schroeder.
Second really good look by 22 and white Bookbinder from the left point, having a little bit of space to play with, using it and getting a good shot to the net.
Bookbinder again skating through the neutral zone. She's a local kid, grew up in upstate New York. Abby Boreen gets it over to Kendall Coyne Schofield. Now Heisey from down low. She'll skate it out to the circle and hand it off for Steckline. A shot. Pad save. And Coyne Schofield's rebound shot went wide. Another chance right in front. Coyne Schofield takes it behind the net. Tried to center and nobody home. Minnesota has been buzzing at several points of this opening period. Nothing to show for it so far.
Good opportunities from the blue line. Minnesota's defenders are doing a really nice job of getting pucks through to create second opportunities. And with Minnesota's speed up front, those second opportunities become good ones.
How about Kayla Vespa on the forecheck, gets it back, and Peyton Levitt sends one toward the net. A rebound chance. Vespa hands it off. That shot blocked by Coyne Schofield. Here comes Abby Barine.
Another example of that New York bottom six doing what we talked about, creating tons of havoc, creating chances, and pinning opponents in.
I think the word pest was used to describe Kayla Vespa at one point.
Oh, and I say that with all respect, but she is a pest, and you need those players to make things happen. She's like that gnat in your ear during the summer that you can't seem to get when you're sleeping. That's her. She just buzzes, and makes things happen.
Back comes New York with speed. It's Saulnier, 3-on-2 if they hurry. Emma Greco catching up to the play, and a chance right in front, and a great save by Rooney. Back to the point. New York with some energy here late in the period.
And Minnesota just got away with a cross-check, big one.
Kelly Panic comes away with the puck, sends it ahead, but it's cut off nicely by Zandy Hart. The New York captain will flip it in. Rooney bats it down with the glove.
Love this. Grind line sets up success for the next line coming up. New York finishes with their top line on the ice with some possession and momentum.
Kelly Panic wins it back for Minnesota. Final 36 seconds of the opening frame. Jesse Eldridge walks the blue line. Tried to set one on net. An errant deflection. And Natalie Bookbinder almost scored into her own net. Matthew Rooney had to be heads up on that.
So Minnesota won a key draw. New York still got the puck back with a chance. Walk is 72% on the right side of the offensive zone. Panic with a big win.
Another face-off win, and Carpenter's blast, gloved and held by Rooney. What a quick shot off the draw, and that is how dangerous that dynamic duo of Rock and Carpenter can be.
So when you set it up, so watches are setting up again. Carpenter sets up on the right wing side. She's on an off wing, so she can just jam right across the middle.
Another face-off won by New York. Clean to the point is Bourbonnais, her drive. Kelly Panic sends it ahead now as Cunnin gives chase. Bothering Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais sticks with it. Crunched along the boards by Cunnin. Final 6 seconds to go. Comes out to the neutral zone, and looks like that'll do it for the first period. Minnesota out shooting New York 10-6, but zeros on the board. We have Minnesota forward Grace Zumwinkle joining us. Grace, a lot of good chances for your team, but no goals to show for it. What needs to happen in the second in order to get that kind of production?
Yeah, I think it's very cliche to say, but I think just getting in front of her eyes, Schroeder's a great goalie, and I think clean shots not necessarily going to go in, so just continuing to get bodies in front and hopefully some screens.
Would you want to keep the pace where it is right now, or would you rather slow it down more to fourth gear to play a little bit more systematically?
Yeah, I think slowing down is not a bad option. I think at times in that period we were just frantic and throwing pucks, and I think it's Coach Ken's had to just take a deep breath and relax a little bit.
When you talk about games going on and slowing down that pace, is it a matter of putting more pucks behind the New York defense to establish a little bit more zone time?
Yeah, I think that's part of it, and I think also once we get the puck, it's not just rushing and throwing it, and maybe taking the extra second, get someone to commit to you, and hopefully someone opens up on the backside of things.
Thanks so much for the time. Good luck in the second.
Thank you.
We're underway here in the second period. Minnesota had the better of the chances in the first. See if New York can shake off a bit of a sleepy start. Cut off nicely by Kendall Coyne Schofield. She hands it over to Heisey.
That's got to be your third turnover of the game, third pickoff.
Step line shot right on into the breadbasket of Schroeder. Rebound comes out, and Heisey leaves it across. A centering pass, and Coyne Schofield was right there. But a hard pass, and it zips across the ice. Now it's Carpenter off her backhand, sealed off by Rooney. Some good looks early for both sides. Jade Downey-Landry will flip it in for New York. The first two meetings between these two each needed overtime. Saulnier working in, the puck is loose in the crease. Maddie Rooney has it somewhere. Zandy Hart tries to play it back. Now Zafudo, and it's a turnover. Here's Zumwinkle skating in, tries to send over back, and they score! Kelly Panic right on the doorstep, and Minnesota strikes first.
This is the goal if you're New York. You didn't want to give up, and you didn't have to. This is another play in the traffic where New York gets burned on their first pass out and don't get it cleared. And Panic stands in front of the net. Zumwinkle on a really pretty play here. Gets around the D, and then it's just a matter of going top shelf for Panic, who puts herself in a good spot. But this all starts off the turnover just inside the blue line. That's Minnesota, the really good F3 up high. And they have read the fact that New York has jammed some passes into some highly congested area. If you're from New York, you should know how to avoid traffic. And New York not doing it.
Well, that's exactly what Zumwinkle told us right before the break. She said, I think we were just throwing some pucks on net. Maybe we need to slow things down and create actual plays. Well, that certainly was a pretty play created by Grace Zumwinkle herself.
Ken Klee talked a lot about Zumwinkle yesterday, about how asked him about under-the-radar players. He goes, this is going to sound crazy, but she's flying a little under the radar now with the chances she's getting.
And the chance here for Schroeder that just went high. New York able to hold momentarily. Schroeder now behind the net. Has it taken away by Minnesota. Bourbonnais trying to keep things alive for New York. Instead, it comes all the way back into the New York zone. Both sides will go for a change. Now New York forced to chase the game once more. It's something Howie Draper has tried to get his players to understand. We got to have faster starts, play with a lead. Great Zumwinkle. No surprise to see her leading Minnesota in goals and points. You can add another to her total here off that beautiful assist, but I think we're getting a penalty here.
Yep, we're getting a holding penalty, and I believe it is going to be on Minnesota. Take a look at the play here. If you stop it right here, this puck more than likely should be coming here, but when you throw into this area, you're risking a high traffic area over there. Watch it roll through. There's the pass, it goes into traffic, not a real clear lane, and when it turns back around, everybody in New York's going north. And it's hard to recover to get back to the front of the net. And Minnesota strikes quick on a gimme.
Well, Minnesota just as desperate for a win as New York. In fact, maybe more desperate. They dropped 3 in a row.
And my apologies, by the way, the penalty is on New York.
So it's a power play here now for Minnesota. Although Minnesota is dead last, both on the power play and the penalty kill. Been a bit of a point of emphasis for Ken Klee and his staff, is trying to turn their special teams around a bit. Here's Taylor Heisey. Having her back in the lineup will certainly help. Brings it around for Flaherty. Back for Heisey down low. Now Heisey over to Boreen. Boreen back for Heisey. Feeds the point and Jakes. Heisey takes a shot from the left circle, fought off by Schroeder. Point Schofield gets it back behind the net. She tries to send it for Heisey, and Micah Zandyhart just got in the lane. Now Jakes tries, loose puck in front, they score! The puck just trickled through Corrine Schroeder. Minnesota has a power play goal thanks to Flaherty.
Greasy goals count just as much as the pretty ones do, and Minnesota kept the pressure on, put a puck to the front of the net, and Flaherty just went to work. Loose puck gets behind Schroeder, but it was all set up by Minnesota winning races and pressing on pucks. Look at that, 5 in the frame, in front of the net, everybody in proximity to the puck as they crowd in to make something happen.
New York trying to settle things down and have a quick answer. Emma Woods rings it around the boards. Now Brooke Hobson plays it back for Woods. Woods gets it back, and Gerard with a chance that just sails wide of the crease. Here's Emma Woods again, trying to center, right off her backhand, and a great save by Rooney. Chloe Gerard, right on the doorstep, denied.
Good job by Woods down low. That's where they're most effective, and love how they come in from behind. It's a wonderful play set up by Woods and how well she worked down low, and Chloe Gerard read it, and she saved herself a little bit of ice, snuck behind the defender in front, and then waited for Woods to have good control of the puck before she jumped.
Jesse Eldridge cuts off the pass from Jakes. A great chance right in front. What a move and a great save for Rooney.
Where'd the Minnesota defense go?
Oh my goodness. The best look New York has seen so far today, but Maddie Rooney stands tall. Jesse Eldridge trying to settle it down now behind the net. They'll jam away at it, and it pops loose. Cut off by Shelton. She's taken down by Cunnin, and we're gonna get a penalty. Cunnin, the guilty party.
New York with a good chance here. As once again, they're working well down below the goal line. Stop it right here. You got ride time coming here. You got good coverage here. You're going to watch Minnesota start thinking north before the play even gets out of the zone. Eldridge cycles it back down low. Now you got a whole lot of white underneath the puck instead of above it. And that allowed the New York chance. Really good job off the cycle by New York.
This power play brought to you by Royal Tiger Towel. Powered through tough messes. Alex Carpenter feeds the point for Bourbonnais. Across for Shelton. Hands off a Rock. They trade spots. Now Bourbonnais a drive that was blocked by Bookbinder. New York's power play, talented early. Abby Rock tries to find the loose puck. It's in the skates of Lee Steckline. And Grace Zumwinkle calmly flips it out of the zone. New York's power play second best right now in the PWHL, clicking at 20%. They sure could use one here to get right back in this game. Jamie Bourbonnais will lead the charge for New York, decide to take it back in her own zone.
Nice work by DeGeorge. Good up ice, using her length, using her stick, cutting the middle off, slowing the New York rush down.
And DeGeorge right there. New York gets it back. Alex Carpenter trying to fight through a check. DeGeorge will get the clear.
Tremendous PK by DeGeorge. Doing the positioning, between reading some triggers, closing up some gaps.
How about Liz Sheppers now on the forecheck? Trying to get a shorthanded chance in what would be a true penalty kill. We should remind any new viewers of the PWHL that if a team scores shorthanded, the penalty is over.
It should be USA Hockey's next 15U through 18U rule is that one. That would be a great place to try it out.
Emma Woods slings it across to Hobson. Back for Zandy Hart. Zandy Hart goes across and a shot. Puck was loose for a moment and a pad save by Rooney. Another chance right in front and Rooney hangs on. Has the puck down low. Kendall Coyne-Schofield now with it, along with Ella Shelton. Back for Barreen. Barreen hands off for Emma Greco. Greco skating in, tries a center right in front. A good chance for Coyne-Schofield.
And great job by Wood, 67 in teal, to make sure that there was no play to the net.
Coyne Schofield with a pass from her knees. Abby Barine gets it back. Now Heisey going to work. Heisey thought about a shot, ends up passing it over to Steckline. Heisey gets it back on the left side. Brings it around the boards. Coyne Schofield plays it back for Heisey. Chloe Herard catches up to the loose puck momentarily. Krzyzova now feeds the point. And it's Jaguar cutting off the pass. Nobody up the ice for her to play it to, though, and now she'll collect it. Bookbinder plays it across her channel. She goes down low for Budarak. Minnesota starting to dominate in terms of possession and zone time. Back to the point for Channel. She slings it across for Bookbinder. Bookbinder's shot blocked on the way. Gets it back. Tries a center, and it bounces into the breadbasket of Schroeder.
Her stick, and Schroeder has to make a good save.
Minnesota wins the draw, but Madison Packer takes it away quickly. Here comes that fourth line for New York. Howie Draper has talked a lot about the value they bring. Alexander LaBelle had it taken away by Minnesota. Krzyzova tries to play it ahead. LaBelle now. Taylor Baker rings it down low for New York. Just past the midway point of this second period, Michaela Cava is in deep for Minnesota. A back and forth first period, but New York has numbers. It's Madison Packer, has LaBelle with her, had it taken away by Flaherty. New York able to hold the zone and keep this play alive. Alexander LaBelle over to Shelton. Shelton, and a bouncing puck. Packer had a stick on it, but it goes wide.
Shelton showing once again real good vision at the blue line in terms of the ability to shoot for sticks, to create havoc.
Ella Shelton, a top defender for Team Canada. And also now a part of the Hockey Hall of Fame. Remember, she was the one that scored the first ever PWHL goal back on New Year's Day in what was a 4-0 win for New York over Toronto.
Which will always be a great story on the banquet circuit as this league continues to grow.
Her stick and her puck proudly displayed in the Hockey Hall of Fame as Lee Steckline carries in with speed. She skates so gracefully, so effortlessly.
Like a gazelle. I'll tell you what, it reminds me, taking a look at the logo at center ice, she reminds me a lot of when Vladimir Malikov played here on Long Island. It's the same kind of stride, long, graceful.
Carpenter catching up to it, tried to send it for Bourbonnais, and it was taken away by Coyne Schofield. Carpenter gets it back. And Coyne Schofield once more has possession. Tried to feed it ahead for Heisey, and it bounces up and over the glass.
Minnesota leads 2-0. Coach Howie Draper of New York is with us. They scored a couple back-to-back, but it seems like you've picked up a little bit of the momentum coming back here through the second period. How are you seeing this period moving along?
Well, we have to push on that momentum a little bit. I think one of the things that this team does really well is we have the ability to kind of turn it on when we're behind, and I think looks like we're doing that right now, so we got to keep it going.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Minnesota wins the draw back for Bookbinder. Channel plays it ahead, cut off by Zandy Hart. Now Levis sends it in for New York. Zumwinkle will indeed get a change. Well-deserved rest after a monster shift for her. 6.5 to go here in the middle frame. Quick start to the period. New York trying to answer. Minnesota scoring 2 goals in 2 minutes and 22 seconds in the early going. Trying to get back into second place with a win today. Levis Had her pass attempt deflect up into the air.
Howard Draper talked about when they chip pucks in, when they make deposits behind the Minnesota defense, put them in areas where they can win the race. That last shift, they put a couple pucks in areas where they did have a ton of great support and were not able to establish some forecheck and OZ time.
Britton Fleming catching up to the puck, flips it in off her backhand, cut off by New York. And here comes Kayla Vespa. She sends it deep. Maggie Flaherty picks it up now for Minnesota. Tries to play it ahead.
Every shift with Vespa, it's a quality touch, a quality play, a good close-up, cause a turnover. Players like that can be just so instrumental, especially when you're fighting from behind, to manufacture a goal out of nothing.
Howie Draper saying they've tried her just about everywhere except the top line. Maybe she'll get a look there later. For now, it's LaBelle. Going back for Vespa, had it cut off by Greco. DeGeorge will flip it in for Minnesota as Maddie Rooney, or Schroeder, excuse me, passes off for Bourbonnais.
You get one great goalie confused with another, right?
There's a lot of great goalies in this league.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because the more we start to watch them, the more we start to see the similarities.
Chance right there for Liz Sheppers. Lee Steckline from the top of the slot, way deep actually, had her shot blocked. Cava picks it up, takes it hard to the net. Not once, but twice she's denied by Schroeder. Another drive blocked on the way. Minnesota pressuring. Back for Steckline. Steckline across. Jakes will go down low. Bourbonnais tries to ring it around the boards and out, and she'll do so as Sophie Jakes catches up to it. New York going for a change. Coyne Schofield going to try to take advantage. Driving hard to the net, takes a shot that just goes high. Abby Barine back for Coyne Schofield. Coyne Schofield working in, takes it around the net. Stops up, passes off for Barine. Maureen now to the point channel, does just hold the zone. Coyne Schofield to Bookbinder. Bookbinder with a drive that goes off the end boards. Great shift in the O-zone for Minnesota. Bookbinder with a blast that's blocked right in front of the crease. And Emma Woods is hurt skating off. Here's Taylor Heisey working in. There was a stick left by Emma Woods that got in the way of that shot. What a shift for this top line of Minnesota. Bourbonnais flips it into the neutral zone. Fresh legs on the ice for New York. Chloe Arard with a drive. Maddie Rooney can't quite hang on to it. The puck is still loose. And the crowd getting involved here now. No New York players were there to pick up that loose puck, and a break for Maddie Rooney in Minnesota.
She's given a couple back with the glove hand in this game, and New York has not been able to capitalize.
Abby Rock trying to get that puck free. Jessie Eldridge comes away with it, feeds Alex Carpenter. Now Carpenter looking for a lane, sends it off her backhand, trying to go down low. Zandy Hart joining the play deep. And Abby Rock with a nifty move off her backhand, sorted out by Abby Barine. Jessie Eldridge trying to get a Carpenter in the slot. And a good stick by Taylor Heisey.
You notice every time New York gets a little momentum on a good shift, the next lineup generally is Carpenter's. It's really smart coaching.
Here's Kelly Panic, one of the goal scorers here today for Minnesota. Looking for another. Grace Zumwinkle from down low, rings it off the iron. Krzyzova gets it back, sends it deep for Zumwinkle. Zumwinkle across for Panic. From the goal line, gets it back deep for Zumwinkle. Zumwinkle taken to the ice. And Zumwinkle gets it back. Krzyzova with her. Feeds Panic, a drive. Pad save. Rebound is loose. Corrine Schroeder keeping her team in this game with another save. Kelly Panic doing her best to find her second goal of the game, but Corrine Schroeder says no. Great crowd here today, and of course, nothing beats watching your favorite team live. Get tickets to PWHL games to catch all of the action. You can visit the PWHL.com/tickets to secure your seats today.
Emma Woods has been a beast in front of the net for New York on the defensive side. Here she blocks a shot, takes it off the wrist. You can see the obvious pain that she is in. And in the hockey world, we call that the black and blue badge of courage. Big shot blocked by Woods. She has been so good defensively all game long.
That is a big loss for Howie Draper, who told us just before the game that she's one of those mentor players who's been so critical to the success of some young players on his squad.
And another good center ice face-off person.
Bookbinder with a drive that was blocked on the way.
Last minute of play in the second period.
We're here in the final minute of the second period. A great start to this period for Minnesota, and they're trying to finish it off with another based on the tenacity of that shift. New York able to get some zone time. Jade Downey-Landry, but they're saying she's in offside. And we are going to get some greetings between these two.
I got to tell you something. This is on the linesman. This was a late call. The shot was on its way in. She had no idea that this play was going to be whistled offsides. Now, if you're standing where we're standing from, you could see it was offside. So maybe it was just a delay of getting the whistle to the mouth. But the whistle blew right about as the shot was coming in. I understand you get upset that a player takes a shot at your goalie.
Yeah, that was.
It's about a half second to a second. Yeah, it's. I mean, that's. I don't have a problem with that shot being taken.
But Minnesota clearly did.
Yeah, and you're in the act of the shot anyway. Minnesota's got a player in the box. It's going to be roughing on Flaherty for coming in late. But that should have been blown dead a lot sooner. And I'm just wondering if the official just had one of those moments where the whistle just didn't get to the mouth.
Well, Steckline and Coyne Schofield are getting an explanation from the refs. But you're right, it looks like we're going to get another power play here for New York in the final minute of the second period. And by the way, Emma Woods has returned to the New York bench. It's a great sign to see her smiling, able to shake off the injury that she had apparently suffered earlier this period. But these are competitive players, and so there's a lot of pride on the line. No question that Minnesota's just trying to defend its goalie and defend the integrity of what we're seeing.
Contact is part of the game. It's what the players wanted. And after the whistle, some of these little scrums will happen. But with a 2-0 lead late in the period, sometimes you just got to read the situation and understand taking a penalty at that particular juncture is not what you want. You get your message across without laying somebody out.
This power play brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel. Power through tough messes.
And I'm guessing that the faceoff is outside the zone because New York's defense came in after the whistle.
Got it.
2 minutes.
New York back in its own zone, trying to set things up. It's Ella Shelton, one of the most dangerous power play players that we've seen throughout the league this season. Channel blasts that around the boards and out. New York on its second power play of the afternoon. 0 for 1 with 2 shots on the first try. Here's Alex Carpenter in with speed, takes a shot. Didn't miss by much. Bourbonnais will get it back for New York. Bourbonnais hands it off for Rock. She goes up top for Shelton, the drive. Pass save, rebound, another save at the horn. New York will still have 1 minute 15 seconds of power play to start the third, but a great chance here late in the second.
A real good way to end the second. Shelton gets this through. Great tip by Carpenter. Minnesota recovers well. If Abby Rock has another half a second, she might have buries in 23 and white channel. Another good defensive play.
Welcome back to UBS Arena, where New York is staring at a 2-0 deficit entering the third period. We're joined by their captain, Micah Zandy Hart. Micah, you guys had a good look there late in the period on the power play. What's the key to getting a good start in the third with still more than a minute left to go on that power play?
Yeah, I think our power play's got one coming. I think we just got to get in the zone and get set up, and I think we've got a lot of time left in the power play here, so if we can put one in early, I think that'll help us take over the game right away in the third.
They got those 2 goals really quick, but it seemed like you stabilized the game, managed it, and turned it north pretty quickly right after that, didn't you?
Yeah, that's been a thing of ours. We don't want to get too high and too low. If we score or get scored on, we want to try and bounce back and respond right away. And I thought despite giving up 2 there, we had a good response, and I hope we can carry that in the third.
For better or worse, as Coach Draper talked about earlier, you've chased a lot of games in period number 3. So right now, really, you got them right where you want them, don't you?
Yeah, we have belief in our group, for sure. We got to believe that. We got to believe we can be back in this game right away, and hopefully we can make that happen.
Thanks so much for the time. Good luck in the third, Micah.
Thank you.
I'm intrigued to see if they pull a face-off play right off the opening draw, whether it's a drawback, quick up, or whether or not maybe a center tap ahead type of thing and push forward. But I always love with a power play scenario to start a period, if you've dialed something up that you practiced to try to take advantage of a neutral zone face-off, which are just as important as face-offs inside the Blues.
I love that you asked Micah Zandyhart if they have Minnesota right where they want them, down 2-0. The third period is underway, and New York will have just over a minute of power play time. And they're in the zone quickly. Although Steckline will poke it out to center ice. Abby Rock gets it back. Fresh sheet of ice for New York to go to work and try to get right back in this game.
Keep your eye on Abby Rock, 11. There is very few players I feel in the league that pass the puck as well as she does.
She had to come back and tag up to the onside. Now this puck comes all the way back into the New York zone. Minnesota doing a great job of not allowing New York to set up at all. Suddenly just 30 seconds to go on the advantage for New York. Here's Abby Rock coming in with speed, fighting off 2 Minnesota defenders. Brings it around the boards for J.B. Bourbonnais. Now from the side of the net, Jesse Eldridge, a shot right on, but saved by Rooney.
It's a brilliant decision by Eldridge on where she shot the puck, and I'll show you why. It's a great angle to do it from. Watch 9 get set up. So there she is, nice soft ice. She's got the goalie Rooney moving towards her stick side because she's got to explode off the post. She goes back short side towards the glove, and Rooney was great.
Face-off win for New York. Ella Shelton handing it off for Rock. Rock off her backhand, a great pass, and Alex Carpenter just missed. Somehow the puck stays out. Maddie Rooney was down on the ice, and New York just could not take advantage of the open cage. My goodness. Alex Carpenter will be having nightmares about that.
And amazing, another really good pass by Abby Rock. This one was more like a pool cue, but she's got a great tendency to put pucks right on tape and in wheelhouses.
And off her backhand, too. So skilled. 2 of them have been so much fun to watch all season for New York, but have not been able to get anything by Maddie Rooney so far today.
The 2 of them are so chips off the old block with the way that their dads played.
Jamie Bourbonnais sends it across, power play over for New York. And a great kill for Minnesota. Ken Klee will be pleased to see that not only is his power play improving by the day, but his penalty kill as well. Both ranked last in the league right now.
I was talking to Kenny Klee earlier. He's like, I can't believe half the league is under 10% with the amount of skill that's in it.
Here comes Britton Fleming. Had it taken off her stick by Ella Shelton. Now Shelton will lead the charge for New York. Skating in with speed. Downey Landry with her. Fights through 2 bodies. Gets it back down low. And now Budarak charges ahead. Budarak gains the zone. Minnesota going for a partial change. Budarak stops up. Now Fleming, take it down low behind the net. Look for a lane to pass. Fleming goes across. It's channel a drive, and that blocked on the way. Another chance right in front. Budarak whiffed on the shot. Minnesota pressuring once more. Bookbinder a blast, and that is held by Schroeder. Now Kayla Vespa skates away with it. Hands off for Packer. Packer. And that goes behind the net. Hobson picks up the loose puck. Had it taken away by Liz Shepard. Hobson gets it back. Going back to Carpenter, by the way, a league-high 16 points, including 8 goals. New York tried to center, nobody home there. Liz Shepard will send it ahead for Zumwinkle. Zumwinkle in all alone, working against Bourbonnais, gets a shot off. Schroeder says no. Dangerous puck in the slot as Steckline will feed it across for Panic. Lost a hold on it, and Vespa skates away. Five minutes gone here in the third period. Minnesota has outshot and outchanced New York to this point. The only numbers that truly matter, oh, look at here, it's a breakaway for Heisey. Heisey can't quite catch up to the puck, able to get it back. Over to Kendall Coyne-Schofield. Heisey gets it back. Now Heisey circling. Vereen has near skates, channel a drive, and it's gobbled up by Schroeder. Some more nastiness happening between Taylor Baker and Kendall Coyne-Schofield, who just shoved her off.
Channel and Schofield have been really, really efficient in this game. Minnesota gets another chance. Here's a Channel shot as she just rips it. But just before that, Coyne-Schofield made a couple of really good plays on the puck. She's picked off 3 or 4 passes tonight, Coyne-Schofield has, and it's just been a presence offensively.
Bookbinder trying to send it around the net. New York comes away with it. Micah Zandyhart feeds Emma Woods. Woods lost her stick, has to skate back to get it. Now Zandyhart off her backhand, and a loose puck in front, fought off by Rooney. Zafuto sends it down low once more. New York trying to find the answer to beat Maddie Rooney, who has been stellar so far here today.
Rooney's been able to see a lot of pucks, and my impression of her is when she can see it, no problem stopping it, no matter where it's from. You take her eyes away and you force her to scramble, it's where she can be beaten.
Hobson! Rooney had to stand up to make that save, gets back down low. Cunning, turn it up to Claire DeGeorge. Off her backhand, tried to center, couldn't connect with Shepherds. Here comes New York, the crowd willing them on. A chance that sails just wide of the crease. Back and forth we go. Here's Michaela Cava. Cava working in, toe drag, off her backhand, loose puck, but it goes wide. Jill Saulnier gets it back, makes a nifty little move, and it's a 3-on-2. Downey Landry. Her shot gloved and held by Rooney. Alex Carpenter working in. She takes the drive that goes above the cage. Jesse Eldridge tried to find Carpenter, had it taken away by Krasova.
The interesting thing is, when you look at the goals that Rooney's given up this year, I would say half of them she had no chance on with the way that the play developed in front of her. Like, she's been really, really good. Even on the goals she's given up, she's been really good.
Minnesota native, played with the Andover boys high school hockey team. She was their netminder throughout her high school career before going on to play for the UMD Bulldogs.
And the Bulldogs have been a goaltending factory in college hockey.
Here's Heisey. Hands it off to Boreen. A chance right in front. Saved by Schroeder. Coyne-Schofield fighting to get it back, but New York comes away with it. Chloe Orard, one of the difference makers Howie Draper has seen lately, had the pass go off her skate. And now a bouncing puck as Minnesota goes for a change. Nearing the midway point of this third period. Plenty of chances for New York. Maddie Rooney has been perfect. Claire Buderak gets it back from Minnesota, hands it off for Fleming. She tried to connect with Cunnin. Back and forth we play on. Peyton Levis, the Minnesota native, sends it in deep against her hometown team. She talked about playing against some of her former teammates and friends. There's no friends once the puck drops in this league. New York trying to get something going. They've been chasing the game since early in the second period when Minnesota scored the first goal of this game, and then the second just 2.5 minutes later.
And both of them hard work goals. One of them was off a turnover, the other one on a power play, little net front, and I think we've got a penalty coming up, and it looks like it is going to be on New York.
Jade Downey-Landry heading to the box.
This becomes one of those penalty kills, and New York has had a good aggressive penalty kill all year long, but this becomes one where that green light's going to be flashing short-handed. There's the penalty. Didn't need to happen. It's one of those penalties that'll drive a coach crazy.
Then Kendall Coyne-Schofield, who loses the draw in the ozone. Short-handed, it's Alex Carpenter, 2-on-1 with Rock and Carpenter. Carpenter tried to pass, and great defensive play by Sophie Jakes.
Jakes has come as advertised today, hasn't she?
Absolutely. You're looking at a 2-on-1 with two of the best players in the game. Great chance in front, and Barreen rings it off the iron. Barreen, so active here today. She had the overtime game winner back on January 28th in New York, and has a goal here that made it 2-0. Carpenter passes it back to her goalie. And now another shorthanded chance for New York. Alexandra LaBelle going to work in the corner. Kelly Panic comes away with a loose puck. Minnesota back on the attack and the advantage. It's Zumwinkle. Had it taken away by LaBelle. Shorthanded, it's Vespa. Lee Steckline calmly catches up to the play.
That's a nice long stick, short stick advantage for Steckline, who handled it really well.
One of the best defenders in the game today, Denisa Krasova. Up ahead for Coyne-Schofield, she feeds Boreen, and she'll carry in for Minnesota. Boreen feeds Heisey, lost it in her skates. Carpenter takes it away, tries to stretch it out. Abby Rock was there, but Maggie Flaherty intercepts the pass. Now Sophie Jakes driving the net off her backhand, had it stripped away. Jakes gets it back. Power play over for Minnesota. Puck was loose momentarily in the crease, and back comes New York. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Jessie Eldridge driving on the left side, gets a shot off her backhand, and Rooney denies her. Kelly Panic, by the way, scored in the first meeting between these two teams back on January 14th. Team high 8 assists for her. One of the free agent signees of this inaugural Minnesota team. Maddie Rooney calmly playing it behind her own net. The pressure was there, but I don't think Rooney feels much pressure today. She is as cool as a cucumber.
When you've seen pucks all game long, it just really builds your confidence that your tracking is good.
Krasova trying to catch up to the pass. Micah Zandyhart has it in her skates. 5 players trying to jam it free. Krasova comes away with it. Panic feeds the point for Channel. Channel a drive that went wide. Bookbinder tried to center for Krasova. 7 minutes to play here in the third period. New York trying to give this crowd something to cheer about to get back into this game. Sophia Cunning will carry in for Minnesota. Minnesota trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. They do have points in that span, but no wins.
They've played a lot of tight games lately, Minnesota has, and they really feel like now that their full complement is back and they can get their roster sorted out and get people back where they want to be, they're going to have the strength and the skill to make a nice run here in the second half.
Minnesota has been in first or second place in the standings all season until Toronto just jumped them. Meanwhile, New York, a 2-game skid, both road games, suffering a shootout loss before a regulation loss the other night. A lot of overtime and shootouts for this New York squad, too. I believe they lead the PWHL as here's a chance.
Did Minnesota just get away with too many on the ice? That looked like a wedding party.
A lot of action here today. A good battle between the two squads, each desperate for a win. And the last time we were in this building, we saw an epic shootout performance by New York. A shot from the point now by Bourbonnais was blocked on the way. Abby Levy was the starter that day for New York. Here comes Heisey. Thought about a shot, now takes one that goes wide. Quinn Schofield tries to play it ahead, gets it back. And Quinn Schofield goes for a lap, then feeds Greco. Greco a blast, puck is still loose. Jamming away at it is Abby Marine, and she'll give a shove as the nastiness continues. My goodness. All right, 2-goal lead here for Minnesota. But New York, what do they need to do to just get right back in this with 5 minutes to go?
I'll tell you what, pretend this is the Minnesota net right here, where New York needs to be really big is the third circle right in front of it. That's where you win your hockey games. You go where the goals are, get pucks to that area, get bodies to that area, and start hacking and whacking away.
Well, it starts with winning a face-off. Alex Carpenter has it on her stick. Here she comes. Feeds it across for Shelton. Shelton driving hard down low, rings it around the net, just missed, feeding Carpenter in the slot.
And that's the example we're talking about. Get to that hard area, get your sticks down, flood it with numbers, and let your skilled players with the good offensive sticks go to work.
Eldridge collects the puck, hands it off now for Baker. Cut off by Minnesota, and Cava sends it on net. We'll keep an eye on Schroeder to see if and when she heads to the bench. That pass cut off by Liz Sheppers. Some great defensive sticks by Minnesota. We've got the extra attacker on with Schroeder heading to the bench. An early pull for Howie Draper here with over 3 minutes to go. And a 2-goal lead for Minnesota. The puck going toward the empty net, but just wide. It'll be icing. Ella Shelton will go back for Rock. Rock thought about a shot, passes off instead. Zandy Hart over to Carpenter. Back for Zandy Hart. Abby Rock gets it back at the point. Shelton back for Rock. They trade places. Abby Rock looking for a lane, takes it behind the net. Brought down to her feet by Lee Steckline. Over to Zandy Hart. Rock once more. Back to the point, and Zandy Hart couldn't hold the zone, has to chase it back into her own end.
And now this shift's getting a little long in the tooth for New York right now. Keep an eye on whether or not there's a change, as the energy is going to drop a little bit here.
Zandy Hart gets it back. Ella Shelton calling for a change right there. You see it. Abby Rock. Play it ahead into the opposite corner. She stays on the ice. Now they have to chase it back into their own end. And you're right, you can tell the intensity has lessened a bit for some tired New York players.
Biggest mistake you can make is overstaying your welcome on an important shift.
That icing will help. They do win the draw as Rock now gets it back. Tried to find Emma Woods in the circle. Rock from her knee is looking for a pass. Great try as Eldridge centered it, but nobody was home in the crease. Minute and a half to go here in the third period. New York looking for its first goal of the day as Ellis Shelton takes a drive that deflects up and into the netting.
I've been really impressed with Minnesota's attention to detail in the defensive zone. Good sticks, they've been in shot lanes, not a lot's gotten through from a point that has caused second, third kicks and any kind of havoc. New York has really struggled to find that grade A off the low to high play.
Important D-zone face-off win for Minnesota, but New York able to hold the zone here. Minute 10 seconds to go. Carpenter tries to throw that on net, hit a couple bodies on the way, and Minnesota gets a clear out to center ice. Ellis Shelton sends it right back in for New York. Final minute of play and a 2-0 lead for Minnesota. Alex Carpenter fighting for possession. Abby Rock gets it back, taken down, gets back on her feet, and can't connect with Eldridge. The puck comes back into the neutral zone as Bourbonnais tries to hurry and send it back up. Empty net still for New York. Cut off, and Krzyzova tried to set it in. They were offside. Schroeder back in the net as Coyne Schofield feeds Barine right in front. Schroeder makes another save. Now Peyton Levis collects for New York. Time winding down. Taylor Heisey ringing around the boards for Coyne Schofield. The final seconds tick away. And Minnesota is back on track with a win. An important 3 points to launch them into the second place spot in the standings. The player of the game is brought to you by Canadian Tire. No doubt about it, Maddie Rooney, a perfect clean sheet for her, and a massive win for Minnesota.